you're gonna f***ing arrested. I'm not leaving your side. My plans are done for tonight. I'm escorting you to the police station.
Sexual harassment happens in all kinds of places.
Yo, man, let me get those bitches.
It happens in the workplace, you know, it happens in the home, it happens in schools. And yet in those environments, we have a lot more protections in place. But on the street, it's like the wild, wild west. I'm Emily May, Executive Director of Hollaback. Hollaback is an international movement to address street harassment or sexual harassment that happens in public space. Tal Nguyen was riding the subway. A man sat down across from her, started to publicly masturbate, and Tal, not knowing what to do, pulled out her newfangled cell phone camera, because this is 2005, and took his picture exclusively with the idea of taking it to the police. But when she took it to the police were like, sorry, there's nothing we can do. And so she put it on Flickr, the photo sharing site. From there, it went viral, made it to the front cover of the New York Daily News, and started this citywide conversation about public masturbation. And we thought to ourselves, why don't we create something on these newfangled things called blogs, where everybody can do what Tal Nguyen did.
I saw you harassing that woman back there.
We wanted it to actually take the focus off of the woman and onto the harasser. We wanted to turn that lens, right? Because when you're being harassed, if the lens is on you, we wanted to turn it back around and put it onto them.
Yeah, you need to stop harassing women.
You know, we collected stories and photographs, and that was, you know, the basis of the blog. It was very, very simple. And then we started to see a couple other trends happen in technology. We can map your story, tweet your story, Facebook your story, and we started to see apps.
Do you know it's not simple to talk to a woman you don't know like that?
And it's this compilation of stories that is really changing the way that we talk about street harassment and changing the way that we talk about all forms of day-to-day discrimination. And I think it's changing the way that social movements happen.
This is not our way of not being able to take a compliment. This is an issue of safety.
It was October of 2010, and the city held its first ever hearing on street harassment. And not just New York City's first ever hearing on street harassment, but the world's first ever hearing on street harassment.
Vulgar, aggressive language toward women, especially when they are with their children, is highly inappropriate.
And so we were surrounded by a standing room only crowd of folks, like every single news channel. It was a huge to-do. And so the thing that they walked out of it with is an understanding, among other things, that we really needed to do more research. We had this idea, you know, why don't we take our iPhone and our Droid apps and connect them up with the city's 311 information line. And it really is creating the first government response to street harassment. What we're seeing is it's really related to population density. So the more people in a given space, the more likely you are to be harassed. For so many people, that's really surprising because it shows us that this isn't a race thing, it's not a class thing, you know, that this is an everyone thing. Hollaback is a nonprofit. We really wanted to run it like a movement. And as a movement, we wanted to give these leaders around the world resources and a community and all the support and technical assistance that we could provide. We totally embrace the fact that street harassment might be solved differently in India than it might be in Buenos Aires or in Canada. And we just wanted to give people options and give people a toolkit and menu. Culture changes every single day. We went from a culture 60 years ago of having different water fountains for people of color, and now we have a culture where we have our first Black president. And so who's saying that we can't change the culture that has made street harassment okay? And I have a 10-year agenda, a 10-year plan of all the baby girls that I see rolling around on the street. I want to make sure that they grow up in a world knowing that street harassment is not okay, that it's no longer a question, that they have no clue who I am because I'm completely irrelevant because we solved the problem.